Yo, yo, yo. What's up? The Haters Club. Hey, Sean. Solo dolo today. We had some scheduling problems, People have their kids, work, things of that nature. So, couldn't get the gang together. So, I'm gonna try to give y'all an episode. I feel like, I'm gonna have to carry this one on my back today. So today I thought that I just kind of give y'all a little bit of a perspective of like what I consider I guess what it means to be a nerd today, versus back in my day. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little older, man. If y'all ain't know, man, I'm 40 years old, so I kind of been around the block with this nerd stuff for a while. But back in my day, man, when I was coming up, it's a big transition versus what's happening today, you know what I'm saying? Because when I was coming up, to be into anime, comic books, cartoons, you name it, anything that had to do with that Magic, the Gathering, or, trading Pokemon cards or anything like that growing up was not a good experience. And I think those that may be watching that know what I'm talking about, it grew up in the same time frame I did. It's kind of crazy, you know what I'm saying, to see what it is now. But back then it's kind of like you had your little small circles of where you did that. You had your friends that y'all talked to, y'all little groups about, like, different animes that was out. We didn't have as large of a library as y'all kids today do, but we would have our little circles and we talk about it. We trading Pokemon cards, and Yu-Gi-Oh was coming out, and people trading those cards. You had the tables at lunchtime during lunchtime in school, and they had those kids that would gather at the one table and they play their the Magic cards, or they may be trading Pokemon cards, but it wasn't like a thing that it wasn't nothing to be proud of. I mean, for us it was like we didn't, we did what we did, but to see all the other kids would probably be looking at us like, yo, there go those those kids again, trading their cards or whatever. But it wasn't a thing, so to see how far the evolution of that it has come is crazy, man. Crazy. Because now when you see people talking about it, you see how Demon Slayer did in the box office, is beating out all these movies, these other movies that should probably, or what you would assume that would be the typical blockbuster movies, is beating out those type of movies. It's crazy to see, because I couldn't even imagine that back in my day. What I'm saying? An anime beating out some regular movies. And then also just, people just now openly, wearing the shirts, wearing the comic book shirts or the anime shirts, wearing tattoos of anime on their arm, carrying it like a badge of honor. It's good to see. I ain't knocking none of it. I'm not bashing it. I'm just saying, from my perspective of how far it's come a long way, because I'm telling you, we didn't see that. We didn't have that back in the day. It was kind of like everybody didn't want to be a part of that crowd of, oh, you're into what? Anime, Pokemon. I remember, I've been into video games for a long time. Video games was popular. I think out of all of the stuff that I would consider probably nerd type stuff, video games has kind of been a thing for, I don't think anybody's really been shamed of that, being into video games. So you had the Pokemon, yellow, red, and blue, the original 160 Pokemon, and people played that. It was no shame in that. Video games has always kind of been a popular thing, even to this day. it's just particular video games nowadays. Like, you're trying to play, talk about playing what's a game, strategy based RPG or tactical based RPG, or probably a more obscure game like Farmville. It's more casual, what people consider casual, but it's like, but that's more popular version of what, as close as people would probably get to being okay with like doing that, and like, hey, I'll do this on the outside, like when I go home and my friends or whatever like that. But the anime wasn't that big back then. I mean, people were into it and have done stuff like and absorbed it and been around it, but we didn't really talk about it as much. It is crazy. Like I'm kind of talking about this like it's some taboo thing, like going in our corner and, hey guys, guess what? I got that anime. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking like that. It just wasn't popular. That's all I'm saying. It just was not a popular thing to be into those things. You know what I'm saying? You got, I mean, just recently we had if anybody's into J. Cole, we did our J. Cole reaction video. J. Cole mentions he this was on the Birthday Blizzard. And he mentions the Xeno abilities with Goku agility or something like that. It's, in hip hop, people are mentioning it. They're talking about anime and hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And we weren't doing that back in the day. So it's just a long way, man. We come a long, long way since for this to be happening. I remember sitting in the movie theater. It's the Marvel movies coming out. I think it was Endgame. How crazy that movie did. It's one of the best selling movies of all time. Not like, of the summer, of the year, of the month, or whatever. It's one of the best selling movies of all time. Crazy. Because comic books, I remember, I mean, if y'all know how many people know that, like, Marvel was going bankrupt. Marvel had to sell off different parts of their catalog to different studios just to stay afloat. So to now be at a space where Marvel is one of the best selling movies of all time, the merch is flying off shelves, people are becoming bigger fans of Marvel. It's crazy to see. I was sitting down in the movie theater. I'm chilling in the movie theater. Like I've read the comic books, the Infinity Quest with Thanos, and then the Infinity Gauntlet series with all the superheroes trying to fight Thanos to get the Infinity Stones away from him and whatnot. And I'm like, there's people in there just talking about, yeah, and that's that guy, his name is Thanos, and they don't know the full they don't know his full power set, how strong he is. They're just trying to. Then I'm like, man, you weren't reading the comic books, kind of being a little bit of a hater a little bit in the space of where like y'all ain't really read this thing. Y'all kind of just know it from the movies, and kind of feeling like, man, that's us. That's my thing. Like, y'all new people coming to this thing. Y'all don't know about that, you know what I'm saying? And kind of wanted to say something about it. Like, man, you don't even know what you're talking about. But man, that's just how it is, man. I'm okay with it because it keeps these characters that we grew up liking around, man. The more people that get into this world of what we all had to ourselves, the more people that get in there, the more it stays around, the more they create, the more they give us true nerds, I would say, content, and things that we can now really enjoy. I mean, so I don't knock any of the new people that have now awakened to this new, I guess, era of nerd stuff. Pokemon Go when it came out. The different series. Demon Slayers wasn't out back then, but that's a great series. I don't think we would have been in this space if it wasn't for the popularity growing as well as it has. We got good animes like that. We got Attack on Titan, one of the classics. classic at this moment. Even though it's new compared to older series, it's already kind of established itself. You got new shows like keep butchering the name Gachakuda. Hopefully I said that right, but Gachagata with Kaiju. Number 8. We got Solo Leveling. These different animes that are coming out. I don't think we would have gotten this level of content. As far as the animation and stuff like that. It's years and years and years of watching different types of anime to get to this point. So I'm happy. I'm ready for all of the new stuff that's coming out. It's just crazy to see how far it came, man, just from back in the day with the VHSs and going to the store and purchasing these things and your little crowds of your friends that you had, and it wasn't as popular. It's being in our little community, and now it's being like this, become this great, big, multi-billion-dollar company, corporation type thing. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I hope that doesn't happen is they get so corrupted that it starts to get watered down. People aren't making really good stories, and the mangas start to disappear, and they're just focusing on the next big cash grab in the anime. Or same thing with the Marvel. Hopefully they're not just trying to get the next big Marvel movie out and sacrificing the story and what the fans really love. Video games. We already see that a little bit with video games, actually. Video games have been watered down. It's terrible, man. I mean, there's really good games. You can find really good games. I mean, there are good games out there. Not to say there aren't any good games. There's good games out there, but I just feel like when I got a game back in the day, I got the whole game. It wasn't go get get the DLC and you get the skins and da. You might get some skins, but you had to do like a code, up, down, left, right. You had to do, what I'm saying? Maybe you go scout, you had to go to the faraway land and going down, jump over the little table, and the little skin you got is right there. It's free. Everything was free. Now everything costs a certain amount of money. It's all about this cash grab, and you get these games that come out and they're half done, they're buggy, the story's trash, the graphics isn't that good. It just seems as though we're getting that with gaming, and as far as being a person that's played games, man, since I played the Atari, not when it came out, I was a little too young, but I played the Atari later on. I've played the NES. It was one of our first consoles I ever bought. Not I bought, but my mom bought for us was the NES, and then we got the Super NES. We've had the Sega Genesis, we had the 64, PlayStation, GameCube, Dreamcast, Sega Saturn, Sega CD. We've had all of these video game consoles in our house at one point in time. So the gaming, to see it go the way it's going, man, it is definitely sad to see. Like I said, you can still find games. It's not to say that we're at a space where gaming is dead. Gaming is still around, but I just don't want to see anime and comics go that same route, because once the masses get it gets a little corrupted, man. We start losing our people forget about the legendary animes that we grew up watching. They forget about the people that drove it all the way to this point. Got it all the way up to where it got to the masses, and then they just start trying to feed everybody, that these casual people that have a small attention span that can't watch TV for that long, you know what I'm saying? And then they don't focus on the stories and character development. They just start dropping anything, and that's where I don't want it to go. And that's why I seen with video games. The video games aspect, I think Nintendo's definitely been true to who they are. Nintendo's still been kind of, down for their fans. They've kind of always been we don't care what Xbox, PlayStation's doing. We're gonna give you Mario. We're gonna give you Zelda. We're gonna give you Kirby and all of their little platformers that they've been doing. They're gonna give you those platformers. They're gonna innovate. Sometimes it's not always where fans want it, but I don't know, because people didn't like Mario Sunshine, but I love Mario Sunshine. Coming from Mario 64, now that's a big a big downgrade a little bit, but I liked it. Mario got some new abilities, got the little jetpack, but they changed a whole lot with that. I think I might have to backtrack on the GameCube stuff. The Jungle Beat with Donkey Kong. Oh my gosh. I couldn't play that game. My little brother, he got that game. He was annoying, but he banging on the drum. And I know they say, oh yeah, you can play with the controller, but I think it was really made for you to play with that drum. I ain't really like that game too much. But for the most part, we got Pikmin from that. Their little changing of the innovation and stuff like that. We got Splatoon. We getting new IPs from them. But yeah, video games for the most part. I think Xbox, initially was that console where it brought a lot of the PC gamers over. You got, we had the BioWare, we had Lion's Head, and by the way, I'm a Xbox main console person. When I say main console, I like all three systems. I got the Quest 3. I got the Switch 2, I got the Switch 1, I got the PlayStation 4. I had a PlayStation 5, but my main console's Xbox, so I play primarily on the Xbox. So any third-party games that come out, I normally get it on the Xbox. I got PlayStation more so for its first party. PlayStation has an amazing first party. But I got all consoles. I got all the consoles. I need to get me a PlayStation 5 again. I got these games that I got a backlog of games I got to catch up on with the PlayStation. I forgot where I was going with that, but no, primarily my console is Xbox. Xbox, when it came in, it really was pushing the boundaries. Halo 1, Halo 2, man, groundbreaking, legendary games, first-person shooters, bringing first-person shooters back to the map. All those kids that played the 64, 007, Quake, Doom, all that stuff, even Duke Nukem, I guess, if you want to throw that in there. It brought, playing in the living room together. I remember playing with my two brothers. I have three brothers, but only the two of us. The two other brothers were the ones that liked the first-person shooters. We used to get together and play. Before Halo, it was Turok, the Dinosaur Hunter, 007, and then when I bought my first console was actually the GameCube, but I bought an Xbox and I got Halo. We just couldn't put Halo down. Played that game to death. But Xbox initially was a great console. It feels like they were the ones that probably started this downward cycle. I wouldn't say Xbox. I will probably put it on Microsoft, but Microsoft owns Xbox. So. But yeah, when they started buying up games and then really just not really innovating, but just buying companies. Just, if we're gonna like Lion's Head, they were doing really good, and then they gutted it and kind of, you got Rare, but they don't use Banjo-Kazooie. They don't use none of the IPs like Conker's Bad Fur Day. They don't use none of the, their Perfect Dark. They were supposed to be making a Perfect Dark, but I don't know what happened to that. But they started the downward cycle towards, starting to fall apart. Now it's all about, getting as much people to subscribe to Xbox Game Pass, which I do feel Xbox Game Pass is still a better deal than paying $70 for games. You get to try out some games that maybe you wouldn't have even played. It's still a good value, but I think it's that they just probably need to really focus on still trying to serve the fans that bought your console. I think that's something they definitely need to focus on. PlayStation, man. I don't know. I love PlayStation. Yeah, my older brother brought back PlayStation 1 and all those games. I remember it came with this demo disc. Tomb Raider, Rapper the Rapper was on there. Had a Star Wars fighting game on there. All those games from back in the day, man, amazing games. All the way up to now. I mean, even them, with Naughty Dog creating what, Clank. I mean, Jack and Dexter, and then going from there to then doing Uncharted, and then now doing Last of Us. And then they just keep coming out with games like, Ghost of Tsushima. They got the Spider-Man games, God of War. They've really been doing good with their first part. I can't be mad at them, man. Like I said, I'm a gamer. I think a lot of people say I'm a gamer, but they only like PlayStation games. I talk about Xbox. Get Xbox out of here. They have nothing nice to say about Xbox. And even me and my older brother, we kind of go back and forth because I primarily play on Xbox. He's a PlayStation. Well, he was. He's more so PC now, but he was a PlayStation stan. He loved PlayStation, so you couldn't have no conversation about Xbox, anything. Like, no, PlayStation's better. But I will always say I'm a gamer just because I had a PlayStation. I had all the PlayStations when I was capable of buying the PlayStation. And I can acknowledge PlayStation got some really good, undeniable classics with, like I said, God of War and, Uncharted series. They keep innovating, even with they don't own Quantum Dream, but they've been loyal to PlayStation, and I love all their games. Detroit, it was Indigo Prophecies was the first game I played from them. Tales of Two. I forgot what the name is. It Tales of? I'm about to say Tales of Two Cities, but I forgot the name. Two Souls, I think it was. I like those games, but they've been innovating. I can't really be mad at them. But in the way that the gaming industry, there are some really true diehard. They're gonna focus on still innovating in their own way. Nintendo and PlayStation, and even with Xbox on a smaller tip, I do feel like it's moving towards this watered down thing where they're just throwing out games and really focusing on story. So hopefully that doesn't go the way anime and comic books don't go that way. They have done games and movies and things like that where they've thrown movies out and things like that, and then it hit. I think the Marvels was one of those movies with the comic books. The Marvels, Madam Web. I don't think that was Madam Web was Sony, but the Marvels was Disney. So they need to fix that, man. They could have did a really good movie with those two movies, but I don't know what they were trying to do, what agenda they were trying to push, but I wasn't rocking with it so much. Yeah, don't water down your movies, man. Get some really good writers and get people that actually read the comic books to kind of come in and, give you a perspective of where they see it and maybe, push y'all in the right direction. Stop just putting these people that's industry. Oh yeah, this person did some movie that has nothing to do with comic books. So now we're gonna get him to direct and write the movie. Like, come on, man. Get some real writers, some comic book writers, some people that's been in the space of the superheroes. Get them on board and get them to make the movie. I think they do that with anime. The anime they get their the anime. Teams get together, they make them write, they do the animation, they do all that, and I think that's great. But they're buying up all this stuff. Like you remember, Funimation got bought up by Crunchyroll. So once they get too big, I don't know. Then you got that corporate machine that's gonna tear it apart. You know what I'm saying? So I just hope that they don't do that. I mean, this is like I said, coming full circle is just to see it grow. It's kind of like a proud father, then you was there. I mean, I wasn't there when, Voltron Force, of course, back in the 80s was an anime. They had, the Gundam series. People remember Gundam Wing, but there's so many different Gundam Wing, well, not Gundam Wing, but Gundam series from back in the day all the way up to modern day that, don't get that as much love, but, I wasn't there for the beginning of anime, but from where I was when I first got into it, really my older brother, I gotta give him a shout out because he definitely put me on. I mean, we weren't supposed to be watching some of these anime, by the way. Some of this anime that we was watching was kind of, not kid friendly, but we were watching it as kids, But I mean, to see it come from there all the way to now. I mean, some of those movies you still can't get on Crunchyroll. You gotta find those, get the DVDs. But I gotta give him a shout out, man, because he definitely was my influence in almost everything right now. You know what? I ain't giving him that much. My older brother. I appreciate you, man. You put me on to everything, actually, that is what I am now as far as my interest in anime, video games, comic books. He was the one that kind of put me onto all of that stuff. He would get the comic books. He used to collect comic books when we were little. I was too little to get anything, but he would always somehow get money to get comic books. And he was the one that read the comic books. He used to read them out loud. He used to draw. I draw, y'all probably don't know that I can draw a little bit, but I used to watch him draw from the comic books, and I used to copy him. He used to get the comic books, and he got me into comic books. Him and my dad. My dad had the animated shows from back in the day, but he was big with my influence in comic books. Video games, man. My mom bought us the NES and stuff like that. But when he got older, he was Final Fantasy 7. I wouldn't even know what Final Fantasy 7 is if it wasn't for him, because the thing he used to do, he used to get the comic book. No, not the comic book. I don't know why I said comic. He used to get the game, and you'd be sitting in the room with him watching him play the game, but he'll do the voice acting and everything for it. He's talking with Tiffany. He's doing the voice acting. He's doing the voice acting. He made it interesting. He made you sit there, want to sit there and watch him play the games. I think that if he did that, I think if he was into this YouTube type stuff, I think he'd be amazing if he was to get into and just play the game and do the voice acting and go play the retro games for him. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta be on camera. You can just be behind it, just do the voice acting and like you did for us. I mean, it was definitely entertaining. It really, when you couldn't really read that good, and he was just reading it for you, and he he did the voice acting and stuff. Got me into that. I mean, Final Fantasy 7 was my first game I fell in love with, was Final Fantasy 7, because of the story and everything. It was one of my first games. But he got me into that. What else he got? Anime, Kira, Ninja Scroll were those movies that he bought when he had got his job, and he bought those movies. Like I said, we weren't probably supposed to be watching those movies, but they were really good animes. I mean, just despite the adult content things that's going on in those movies. They're really good anime. But yeah, man. He got me into that, man. And I just kind of had an epiphany, he really actually, he's the reason why I like all of this stuff, is because of him. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him. I don't want to say his name. But yeah, he really got us. He got me, and me and my nephew. My nephew is actually, I don't know if y'all know, the light complected guy on the show is my nephew. He's my older sister's oldest son, KJ. And so you see us go get intense and stuff on the show. That's why. It's because we have a long history. And but my older brother got him into anime too. He when we get together, they'll back and forth talking about, hey, did you see this? Oh yeah, did you see this? Did you watch this? Did you they go all day and night talking about different animes that they watched, and just catching up on stuff like that. So yeah, but he got him into that. And but he got me into all of that. He got me really into what I do nowadays. You know what I'm saying? As far as that's concerned. I mean, now I'm into a lot of other stuff, but the nerd side of me, I think he was a big contributor to that. Before I wrap it up, I wanted to probably go a little bit more on the anime side. I had we had a video we did earlier video we did where we were talking about different animes, but we went a little bit on with Dragon Ball Z, and I had made a comment more so like just I was like, how could they innovate with Dragon Ball Z? I mean, they already do a lot of innovation with Dragon Ball Z. They're really going through like a transition with the animation and stuff like that. A lot of people may not like it, some people like it. I don't really have a problem with the animation. I think that as long as the stories, of course you want that old school style, or just the animation part, take out the CGI stuff. That's what most people don't like that stuff. But I don't really have a problem as long as they keep true to the whole fighting scenes and everything. I don't really care. But I could go with or without it, but whatever. But with the different side characters, Piccolo, I'm a Piccolo guy, man. I love Piccolo, man. That's my my character. I really feel like they kind of downgraded Piccolo. Since after the Saiyan saga, he slowly started getting declined. Started not decline, but just going down. I ain't really appreciate that. How y'all gonna take one of the? Well, I won't say the original. I guess for Dragon Ball Z, yeah. And just no, man. Piccolo just needs to love, man. People just need to appreciate Piccolo. You know what I mean? He's the serious guy, you know what I'm saying? Once they added Vegeta, it was kind of like they kind of overshadowed Piccolo. Vegeta was kind of had the Piccolo attitude, but he's also a Saiyan, so you kind of felt like, hey, look, you get Piccolo plus Goku in a sense, you know what I'm saying? But Piccolo don't be getting his love, man. And I just wanted to say, man, this may not be a popular take, but I have to say it, man, because these Piccolo haters, man, I don't know. I gotta say it that I think that Piccolo is a better character than Vegeta. And I said it. Yeah, Vegeta is a great character, but he's a Saiyan. At the end of the day, him and Goku's there. Really all you're getting with Vegeta is his attitude. He got his little special moves and he's angry or whatever like that, but you just got an angry Goku. He's a Saiyan, so we know what he's capable of. He can go Super Saiyan 1, 2, 3. He basically got the Saiyan kit. You know what I'm saying? So what you see Goku do, you're like, okay, Vegeta can do that too. And then you got the other Saiyans, I guess, the half Saiyans, Gohan, Trunks, and Goten. And now Pan. Well, I don't know. Pan might be a little watered down. She got two. Yeah, because Gohan's half, and then Pan is half and half. Yeah, I don't know what she's gonna do. But either way, I digress. This guy Vegeta, he ain't better than Piccolo as far as I'm concerned, because at the end of the day, Piccolo can use telekinesis, he can regenerate limbs, he got his special beam cannon, his attitude, he's always serious, he's training, you know what I'm saying? And if they were to stop holding Piccolo back, because really this all comes down to writing, right? This is what I gotta say, it all comes down to writing, all right? If they wanted to, they could have did something with Piccolo. They could have made Piccolo, do like the Saiyans and just keep getting stronger and stronger. But the writing said no, Piccolo doesn't go past this level unless he absorbs other Namekians or whatever it is, And I felt like what Toriyama did with Superhero was amazing. You know what I'm saying? I think that people, when they did it with the Dragon Balls, it was kind of like, that's really what it was like. Oh, Piccolo cheated. He used the Dragon Balls to get stronger. But first of all, those are Piccolo's Dragon Balls. Those are his Dragon Balls, right? They're not Goku's and them. They're not the Earth people's. They're Piccolo's Dragon Balls. Those Dragon Balls wouldn't be there if it wasn't for Piccolo. All right? Those are Piccolo's Dragon Balls. That's number one. All right? So they're really made for the Namekians, not really for the Earth people. They're just abusing it. And it was always used for times of distress. And so at the end of the day, when he did that, that's really what it was used for. And he probably could have been did that, to be honest. But I feel like he could have just went all the way and said, hey, make me as strong as Goku. But he said, just unlock my potential. And what I'm hoping happens with these future episodes and things that's coming out is that they allow him to go past whatever he's been doing. You know, I feel like his potential could be anything because Piccolo never stops training. And if they were to do one of those side quests, like I was saying, man, I'm tuning in. I'm tuning into every episode of the Piccolo episode or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching them because, man, like, you know, Dragon Ball sometimes gets a little goofy. You know what I mean? A little goofy, a little too goofy. And I feel like a Piccolo, you know, show, that might bring out like the dark side of, you know, Dragon Ball Z. You know what I'm saying? He needs to separate from Goku in them because they always going to overshadow him. But, you know, it's just, you know, I'm just telling you, man, Vegeta is an angry Goku. I think they just, if they didn't do what they did with Piccolo and nerf him and all that stuff, I feel like, you know, he would have been, he is that other guy that kind of adds a different, he can add a different layer to it. Like, yo, we got this guy that has this unique set of skills. Like he's unique. He's not human, so he can do stuff that none of the other Dragon Ball fighters can do. He's, you know, look at him. He just looks totally different than all of them. He can, like I said, the regeneration, he grow in size. You know, he can use telekinesis. Like when you see him fighting a superhero and he's used those rocks, he kind of like, you forget some of that stuff that what Piccolo can do. Like he took those rocks and kind of brought them together and threw them. I was like, oh, you know what I mean? You know, that's what you want to see. You know, I like all the other Dragon Ball heroes, of course. I'm just saying, like, I like Goku, I like Gohan, I like Vegeta, even though, you know, I said what I said. I just feel like, yo, we just watched Goku always surpass Vegeta. Oh yeah, he's bigger than Goku, and Vegeta gets mad because Goku's always stronger than him, and then he wants to be, but he's always like behind him. It's like, but he never, like, they got the same, they can always achieve the same exact thing. So wherever Goku's at, if he's over, it's like, okay, Vegeta's coming up behind him. You know what I'm saying? Or say like they make Vegeta pass Goku. All right. Goku could get there too, because they're both the same. They're from the same thing. They're both Saiyans. So, I mean, you got legendary Saiyans like, you know, Broly, and, you know, he can do, you know, he's OP, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, for me, I feel like a Piccolo needs to shine. I need people to stop all this Piccolo. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of Piccolo hate, but I think if you put them up there with the Saiyans, they ain't gonna like that. No one likes. They like their Saiyans, you know, and then, you know, nobody cares about all the humans, you know, the Namchas, the Tiens, the Chaosus, Krillin, and the androids. I guess the androids would be considered human too. I guess I don't know. It looks like they're a little bit stronger than humans, but either way, I'm just saying they need to do something with Piccolo, man. That's my guy, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, to wrap it up today, man, you know, I like where anime, I like where video games is. I think it's going a little bit, they need to bring it back to light, you know what I'm saying? But I like the comic books, what's happening with the comic books and in the nerdum all together, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make that a word, the nerdum. Make that a word, all right? I like what they're doing with it, man. I like where we headed. You know, of course, I do feel like we need to be more represented in all facets of nerdom. You know, as far as ethnicity, you know what I'm saying? You know, but I mean, we gonna support regardless. I mean, because, you know, I think that it's just something that they need to change eventually. I think we ain't gonna get nowhere if we don't support. So, for all the smaller people that's coming up with their different comic books that highlight a lot of black and brown characters, I support you. I'm gonna try to get y'all on the channel, you know what I'm saying? Just to bring more awareness to it, and not only that, it's just to give some support, man, because we ain't gonna get there if we just wait on everybody to do something for us. So I mean, and anybody who's watching, please support, those type of creators that are actually trying to push the boundaries and limits of not just making everything one side, show all different facets of it, you know what I mean? And that's about it, and hopefully next episode we'll have the other two. I mean, this isn't like, hey, I'm taking over the show or whatever like this. I'm just holding it down until they get back. I mean, like I said, people got lives. They got children and work and, everyday lives with, being an adult and having to pay bills and crap and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, but I'm gonna hold it down for this week. This is your boy, Unc. You know what I'm saying? See y'all next time. The gang should be back. They should, because, you never know. But now the gang will be back. Catch you next time. This is the Haters Club.